Well, today we're back at my super secret ultra remote location, and we're going to be working on this gravel bar, which is going to be the second video in the Choose Your Own Prospecting Adventure. Also, we're going to be trying out my brand new work in progress high banker, which is going to be fun, and I've got someone to introduce you to. Now, if you didn't see the first episode in this series, I'll just give you a quick recap. I'm standing on a gravel bar. I don't know how deep the gravel bar is. I know it's pretty shallow down that direction, and I know there's a big boil hole over there, which is, you know, close to 2 meters deep if I'm standing in the bottom of the hole, which I won't be doing today because it's full of water. And in between those two spots, we've got this gravel bar, which got a whole stack of really big rocks and then a whole stack of gravels all the way down to fine sands. I know there's gold in this creek. I know there's gold in this gravel bar from previous work. What I don't know is whether there's any concentrations of gold in this gravel bar and whether it's going to be worth processing, mining the entire bar. Now, a bunch of people put some suggestions in on the last video. One was to do a sample across the gravel bar, and one was to do the sample the length of the gravel bar. Now, I've chosen to go across, but the thing is, where do I put this trench across? And I guess it would have been cool to have a video asking you that question, another thing where you could have some input in. What I've decided to do is put the trench across the back of the gravel bar, because towards the back I reckon it's going to be relatively shallow, and that's going to be less work. So we'll see how we go. It does mean though I've got to carry the gravel further to the hole where the water is to get it to the high banker.
No, just there. Leave it. Don't touch. It's okay.
Leave that leg down there, Maury.
This
is Lucky, everyone. Lucky is our new family addition. And we've got him for the kids, and we've got him for me, got him for the family. I'll be talking a bit more about him on my other channel, about why we've particularly chosen a part Irish wolfhound to get. And it's not just because he's so cute. He's so cute. But it's partly because he's so big. But I'll talk about that later. Actually, do you know, kids, if you want to do something, there's a lot of rubbish around here. Could you grab one of the buckets and start picking it up? What we're trying to get is through all this gravel stuff and run that through the high banker, okay? So, if you wanted to have a dig, you could choose anywhere in a straight line through there to dig, okay? Not down there, no. If you're digging holes all over the place willy-nilly, that's not going to give us any information on how to best dig in the future, okay? So that we can reduce the amount of work that we do and increase the amount of gold that we get, all right? So, do you know what, this is working as a team, mate.
I said that.
Right, so what we're going to do, got the high banker kind of ready to go. It's about 10 meters away. It has to be over there because I need to recycle the water back into that hole. So we're going to fill up some buckets, and as buckets get filled up, we're going to carry them back to the high banker. And if the kids are up for it, we can have a sort of a continuous, you know, workflow where we're filling buckets up and running them through the high banker until we've got the trench dug. That's the plan, anyway. Oh my God, he is so deluded. Where's the bloody shovel?
Annalise is digging. See, Annalise is digging. I'm not. We're breaking ground. The first shovel.
I think I'm gonna dodge the tussock.
There's not a lot of space here with everyone here, is there?
No.
You wanted it to family fair though.
Oh, big rock. That's why I couldn't dig through it. Now, it's a bit of a tricky thing. Where do I put the rocks? We're planning to dig this entire gravel bar.
Just taking photos.
Someone get rid of those big rocks, please.
I can.
Well done, Angus.
Awesome, Angus.
Mom, I found the playground for my wiggly worm.
Alright, let's fire up the high banker and see if we can get a workflow happening. It's not looking promising.
Do you want me to film you?
Sure, you can film me struggling with these clam. Oh. Right, I think one's enough.
Look, Mummy, it makes bubbles.
If the purpose of this expedition was... Oh, God. Well, let's just say the purpose of this expedition was to give my hopper of my new high banker a run and work out all the things that I need to fix on it. If that's the purpose of this trip, we can call it a success, because I'm finding all sorts of things I need to fix. To say it's not running smoothly is an understatement. See that? Yeah, bits are getting clogged here between this screen and the pipe, and then the water goes over the top of the pipe, and we don't want that.
Okay.
I have dug 10 buckets and I think I've run 7, then ran out of fuel. I'm just taking a break because Sarah went off to get some lunch and she had the fuel can in the back of the car. So I've had to have an enforced break. But this single pipe jet is a lot less, sprays a lot less than spray bars. But I think I need to decrease the nozzle on it because it's not jetting enough. But it looks like she's back now. And so I think we'll have some lunch and then I'll get back into it. Food first, then more dig. Alright, so here's my plan. We go for the next 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Oh.
Everybody stop crowding me!
What do you reckon, Adrian?
Alright, enough! Enough! No! I'll start licking noses. Alright, now you can't stuff it in my face, can you?
This is really cold work. Look, my hand's all cold.
Ah, go away!
It's cold! Annalise is very enthusiastic without actually getting much done. Annalise, you've got to keep out, you've got to help your goose.
You're not helping!
But she's really having fun.
Good.
That's what you wanted.
And we'll get all our concentrate here into the bucket. And,
Hopefully.
No, we will get it into the bucket. Hopefully it's got some gold in it. But it doesn't actually matter if there's much gold in here or not. What we're just after is a result. But I am going to have to completely, I think, revisit how I'm doing.
I don't really like it either. I don't think it's a really good.
Which one, do you think this one worked better or Craig's one worked better?
I reckon that this one probably would have worked better.
Yeah, I don't think so actually.
But
as much as we had issues with Craig's, I think his one in the current form works a lot better than mine.
yeah.
Now I don't have a pan down here, so can I have the trowel? Where's the trowel? There's the trowel. Right, well, let's get all this packed up and get home, but before we rush home, I want to go back to the trench and show you where we're at down there. We've gone all the way over here, so what's that, about 3 meters?
That's what I was going to say.
All the way along here, we're through the gravel onto that sandy layer that was that we found in the first test pan. And it really gets quite shallow, the deposit here, but then there's this big mound of gravels over here. And I didn't see that when I first started, so I'm probably, I probably need to extend this way, but I might do it as test holes rather than a test trench. Because here, yeah, there's the clay of the bank, so I don't think we've got any gravels here. It's kind of, this is where the gravels are. You can sort of see them through the grass there. So I have to come back and check that. So what are the chances of you being able to put water in here without getting me wet?
0.
I won't ask you to do it then, will I? How much gold do you reckon we got here, kids?
Probably not that much.
But we need a decent show of colouring to make it worthwhile to do the individual samples along the length of that trench. If we get stuff all, then there won't be enough anywhere along that trench to really get a good resolution on if there's a concentration. But disturbingly, I'm not seeing any flashes of colour. Well, there we go. The size is so small.
True. Maybe we should go wider or deeper. Or...
There's a lot of individual little pieces there. There's some that are a decent, like, specky size, but lots of tiny stuff. So what's this mean? Well, first thing it means is that the back of the gravel bank, the downstream area, is not worth processing. There's just not enough gold. It also means, though, that there's not much of a pay streak there. Now, if all of that gold came from a very narrow portion of the trench, it's still not that great, because let's just say I could identify where that pay streak was and I would go straight down on top of it. A test pit is still going to be 3 pants, and that's not a lot of gold for 3 pants. So where to next? Well, I haven't finished with this trench, because remember, I've only taken the trench down to the sandy layer. I haven't gone past the sandy layer to the false bedrock or even the real bedrock that is at this site. So that could be a really good next move, especially because the top layer, with all the vegetative matter in it from all the roots and stuff and all the clay, is a dog to process. So the sandy stuff underneath will be quite easy in comparison. Alternatively, it could be better to dig another transverse section through the gravel bank towards the front of the gravel bank, or maybe in the middle of the gravel bank, or it might be better to do a longitudinal section, because while you guys might not be excited by this result, because it's not a lot of gold, it actually is tying in with one of the things that I've been leading up to with the series I've been doing on the fluid dynamics of prospecting, and that is how pay streaks form and why they form. So the standard dogma is that you get pay streaks forming in a line down the length of the stream, and the position of the pay streak wanders from side to side. But that doesn't fit with what I know of fluid dynamics. And certain river conditions, I would predict that instead of a pay streak forming the length of the flow, it would actually form across the flow. And that could be what we might find here on this gravel bar. But that remains to be seen. I'm going to be digging here on this gravel bar no matter what, because I'm really interested to investigate what I find over and above what the amount of gold that we get. So really now it's over to you guys to start suggesting what we do next. But the real value that's going to come out of this process is going to be in this discussion. As much as I know a lot of this, the theory of fluid dynamics, this is the practical application of how to take the theory and apply it to real world situations. And some of you guys have got a lot more experience in the real world setting. And so together we have these discussions, we do these experiments, I'm going to be filming it and documenting, and you guys are going to be putting your input in, and we work through this together. There's a real opportunity for people to both improve their practical experience but also their theoretical knowledge, which will then improve their practical results. That's the whole reason I'm doing these theory videos, is to get better at the practical. So I hope you found this useful. Look forward to the discussion, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye-bye. Although there's another possibility we should mention, and that is that the high banker sucked and we lost a lot of gold. To be fair, it was really hard conditions, lots of vegetative matter, lots of clay, but then that's what processing equipment's supposed to be able to deal with, is stuff like that. More coffee. Where's my coffee cup? Where's my coffee cup?
Inside.